Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the flood stage in Frankfort passed yesterday after some people waited days to return home. And officials are stressing the importance of flood insurance for your home, while the majority of Kentuckians go without it.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Amelia Lee. Happy Friday to you. It's April 11th and the time is 6:03. It's time to check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall this morning for a look at that forecast. Megan, I did not see a lot of fog this morning, but I know you alluded to some of that making a comeback.
Yes, we do see some patches of fog this morning as we have the rain in the forecast adding into that moisture that we're seeing, and those temperatures are getting close to the dew point. That's what causes the fog, and that's what we're seeing this morning, especially as you're traveling more towards those western counties. On top of the fog chances, you have rain chances, and temperatures aren't looking too bad. Here's a look at those current temperatures outside your door, mainly sitting in the mid to upper 40s, seeing some low 40s as you travel more towards Wise and Clintwood, 43 and 44 degrees. As you head into the afternoon hours, we will have that secondary warm up in the 50s, seeing low 50s as you travel more towards the east, and mid to upper 50s the closer you get to the west. So not too bad of an afternoon, especially as those rain chances finally clear out. But unfortunately, you still see those rain chances this morning, and we'll continue to see them for the next couple of hours. Here's a look at that breakdown as you're going throughout your day. Rain chances will continue, especially for our southern counties as you're going throughout your day. And by the time you head to that 5 o'clock mark, everyone will be clear from the rain. And then we're looking at clouds receding as we're heading overnight and into your Saturday. Amelia.
Thanks, Megan. Disaster declarations will be made for Kentucky's capital. After nearly 1 week, the Kentucky River finally dropped below flood stage. Abigail Carey says they lived on Wilson Street for several years and never thought the river, which she can't see from her home, would ever flood this much.
We were told there were going to be dams put in place and that, the chance of it was almost none. We have about a ½ inch of mud on the floors in our house.
The Kentucky River crested Monday at a near record high. The water topped out at more than 48 feet. Governor Andy Beshear says the 7th person died in Kentucky due to that flooding. The deaths have been in Bullitt, Carroll, Franklin, McCracken, Nelson, Pendleton, and Trigg counties. The governor says any money raised with the Team Kentucky Storm Relief Fund will help pay for the victims' funerals.
Each of these children of God, missed by their families and by their communities. Please pray for them. We'll be reaching out with the Team Kentucky Storm Relief Fund and offer to pay for each of those funerals so that, again, we can grieve together and these families aren't worrying about this cost, that burden at this very difficult time.
The governor says Kentucky will be submitting the application for individual assistance to the federal government today. For some people in Mercer County, they tell us the water is not going down quick enough. Madison Carmouche talked to one family in Bergen who's still dealing with multiple feet of water in the place they call home.
I've cried so much I don't think I can cry anymore.
Jamie Rosenberg has lived in her home in Bergen for 5 years and says the aftermath of this flood is unmatched. She says she still has not seen the floor because of the more than 4 feet of water inside her home.
I'm heartbroken. Our house will be paid off in October. So people are like, well, why don't you move? Well, because now I have a property that I will never be able to sell.
Even with the damage to her home, Rosenberg says she has not missed a day of work serving her community as a postal worker.
There's just no time left in the day for relaxation, so it is what it is.
But Rosenberg is not alone in her heartbreak.
And the community here is, we've trauma bonded together through this experience, so a lot of us have become really close.
The city of Bergen is no stranger to the damage water can do. This is why Assistant City Clerk Brittany Smith created an Amazon wish list filled with donations that will go to flood survivors like Rosenberg.
We had so many people that were being so generous, reaching out and asking how they could help. And that was just an easier way to kind of combine everything.
Rosenberg says in February's flooding, donations are what helped to keep them warm through the cold nights.
You know, I just hope I never have to experience this again in my life.
In Mercer County, Madison Carmouche, WKYT.
With cleanup now underway, so many Kentuckians are in assessment mode, taking a look at the damage the flood did to their home. Most Kentuckians don't have flood insurance. That's according to the vice president and head of personal lines insurance sales at AAA Club Alliance. If you do have a flood policy, call your insurance company now for an inspection. While you wait, do what you can to mitigate any further damage from happening.
The damage that water can do isn't just what you can see. You can't put a Band-Aid on it. What comes next is terrible, and that is mold.
Yeah.
And mold is invasive, and mold can be very dangerous.
Scroggins says when you do call restoration crews, remember scams run rampant in times like this. Make sure you call a reputable local company. Goodwill is providing vouchers at select opportunity centers for people who were impacted by the most recent flooding. There are several locations you can go to redeem a voucher. The opportunity centers in our area that are applicable include Corbin, Moorhead, Pikeville, and Somerset. Vouchers are limited to one per household, and you have to visit the nearest opportunity center to you. Kentucky Fish and Wildlife officials say people hunting during the spring turkey season could be impacted by the recent flooding. The period runs from April 12th through May 4th. They say many wildlife management areas are affected by high water, particularly in central and western Kentucky. An early morning fire in Paintsville left one man dead. Firefighters were called to an apartment on Elm Street at around 4:40 Thursday morning. They say the fire was contained to the kitchen of a single unit, but inside, crews found a man who did not survive. Captain Ben Cook with the Paintsville Fire Department says the fire could have easily spread, and this serves as a reminder for everyone to regularly check smoke alarm batteries.
We tell everybody when you adjust the time on your clocks, check your smoke alarm batteries. That's what's going to wake you up in the middle of the night and get you out in enough time. A lot of people don't understand by the time the human body recognizes something's wrong and you wake up from a sleep, you stand up in that superheated gas, and when you breathe that in, take it into your lungs, it can do a lot of damage to your esophagus, and that's usually why we find people unresponsive and not able to make it out.
The fire is still under investigation, but Captain Cook says they believe it started near the stove. The man's body was taken to Frankfort for an autopsy, and his name has not yet been released.
We are still tracking rain this morning. Good news is once it's gone, we have a drier weekend on the way. Here's a look at satellite radar right now. As we go through the past 3 hours, you've been seeing that movement more towards the east. It will continue to move east and south as we go through the next couple hours, clearing as we're going into the afternoon and evening hours. Here's what you need to know in terms of some fog chances, though. We do have some patchy and dense fog for some places. I mean, as you take a look towards Williamsburg, 0 mile visibility. So just make sure you're driving safe on the roads this morning, especially with that rain chance in the forecast as well. Current temperatures are in the 40s across the region, and as we head into that evening hour, we'll start to see those 50s pop out, upper 50s as you travel more towards the south. So overall, not too bad of a day, and we'll see warmer temperatures as you head into your Sunday and Monday. For today's forecast, though, we'll hit our high temperatures around that 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock mark, looking at rain chances in the morning, clearing out throughout the day, and having cold temperatures overnight. Amelia.
Thanks, Megan, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Tragedy on the Hudson River after a deadly helicopter crash killed a pilot and a family of 5.